phone active on SBS. And know you really need this. Keep the phone active on SBS.
Facts and figures are not far-fetched. The ability to read situation as it comes and its prospect is power and key to development. Information is all around us, but how much do you check for the facts that makes the basis of these theories, resulting in the stories making the rounds in our daily newspaper? On newspaper review and analysis, we don't just read, but sit to checkmate the visibility as we analyze every development and issues around us. Join us every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on SBS 96.9 FM in Lorraine, as we will be discussing our nation. Because together, we can make Nigerian work.
A beautiful morning to you from wherever it is you're listening to SBS 96.9 FM. You're welcome to the newspaper review and analysis with Rachel Damilola Aruko. Your SBS is located at the Federal Low-Cost Housing Estate on Lodge. And of course, we bring to you the headlines, the body of the stories, and then we get to analyze with our analysts in the studio. Getting it started from the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning as we got Kwara poll. APC declares 16 local government areas, 193 councillorship seats. The All Progressives Congress has been declared the winner of the local government elections held in Kwara State on Saturday. A statement released by the State Independent Electoral Commission Chairman Mohammed Baba Okola and made available to the newsband on Sunday morning noted that the ruling APC won all chairmanship and councillorship seats across the 16 local government areas and 193 wards of the state, respectively. 5 political parties, including the APC, Allied People Movement, People's Democratic Party, Social Democratic Party, and the Accord Party, contested the local government elections. On the pages of the Punch this morning, as regards Kwara poll, APC declares 16 local government councils and 193 councillorship seats. Away from the Punch and onto the Daily Post this morning, as regards Imo local government polls, APC wins all 27 council areas, 305 wards. The All Progressives Congress, APC, Imo State Chapter, has cleared all the 27 local government chairmanship and 305 councillorship seats in the just concluded elections. This was made known to journalists by the chairman of the Imo State Independent Electoral Commission, ISIEC, Charles Ejiogu, who officially announced the result at the Commission Secretariat in Owerri, the state capital. Reacting to the announcement, a group under the aegis of the National Youth Alliance, NYA, Imo State Chapter, declared that the state local government area election was charried and slap on democracy. The group alleged that ISIEC connived with the ruling APC to truncate the exercise, accusing the commission of depriving the electorate from exercising their franchise. On the Daily Post, as regards the Imo local government polls, APC wins all 27 council areas, 305 wards. Still on the Daily Post, I weep for Nigeria's Adamawa Governor Fintiri rules Edo election outcome. The governor of Adamawa State, Ahmadu Fintiri, has condemned the result of the Edo State governorship election, saying he weeps for Nigeria's democracy. Daily Post recalls that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Sunday declared Monday Okpebolo of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as the winner of the 21st September 21st governorship poll. Reacting in a statement on Sunday, Fintiri said he wept for Nigeria's democracy, describing the exercise as shameful. He also condemned the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, for flying into the state with a private jet, defying movement restrictions by the Nigeria police, describing it as blatant disregard for democratic norms. On the Daily Post, I weep for Nigeria's democracy. Adamawa Governor Fintiri rules Edo election outcome. Away from the Daily Post this morning and punching from the Punch, still as regard Edo poll, PDP alleges rigging as APC Okpebolo wins. The People's Democratic Party kicked against the result of Saturday's governorship election in Edo State, which ushered in All Progressive Congress candidate Senator Monday Okpebolo as the new governor of the state. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, who is the chairman Edo State Governorship Election National Campaign Council on Sunday, stated that the Independent National Electoral Commission should be held accountable for violating the Electoral Act. Okpebolo polled 291,667 votes to defeat PDP's Asue Igodalo, who came second with 247,274 votes. The Labour Party's Olumide Akpata, who emerged third with 22,763 votes. Of the 18 local government areas in the state, the APC won 10, while the PDP settled for 8. But the PDP, in solidarity with his governors forum, insisted Igodalo clearly won the election. In a statement on Sunday, PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba responded by explaining that Fintiri presented results from the polling unit showing Igodalo in a clear lead. On the Punch, as regards Edo poll, PDP alleges APC Okpebolo wins. Back to the Daily Post this morning, still talking about the Edo gubernatorial election. Anyone thinking of becoming president in 2027 not serious, says Sam Amadi. Sam Amadi, director of the Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, has suggested that anyone dreaming of becoming president in 2027 is not serious. Amadi's statement comes after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declared the All Progressives Congress, APC's Monday Okpebolo, as winner of the Edo State governorship election. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, had also rejected the result declared by INEC. Tony Iyoha, PDP state coalition agent for the party, alleged that the result from two local councils of Oredo and Ikpoba were deliberately delayed to alter the figures. Before now, Amadi, former Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, had argued that the INEC was the problem. Anyone thinking of becoming president in 2027 is not serious, Sam Amadi says, as regards the Edo gubernatorial election. Still on the Daily Post, and we are just going to sensitize ourselves this morning as NIMET forecast 3-day thunderstorm from Monday. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecast thunderstorms from Monday to Wednesday across the nation. NIMET Weather Outlook released in Abuja on Sunday forecast thunderstorms on Monday over parts of Sokoto, Kebbi, and Borno State. It said thunderstorms are expected over part of Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Taraba, Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto State later in the day. The agency stated that thunderstorms are anticipated over part of the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Nasarawa, Benue, Plateau, and Kwara State during the morning hours. In the afternoon and evening period, it said isolated thunderstorms are expected over part of Kwara, the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Benue, and Kogi State. And according to the agency, rains are envisaged over the southwest inland, especially part of Oyo, Ondo, Osun, Ekiti, and Ogun, extending to the coastal state of Lagos, Delta, Rivers, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa State during the morning hours. NIMET forecasts 3-day thunderstorm from Monday. Get your details from the Daily Post. And on the Vanguard this morning, poor government policy execution keeps capacity utilization below 50%. MAN has that to say. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has lamented that the lack of government commitment to policy execution has kept the country's manufacturing sector performing at less than 50% of its installed capacity. Director General of MAN, Segun Ajayi Kadir, stated this at the 2024 Access Corporate Forum in Lagos. According to him, successive governments in the country had declared their intention to grow domestic production but failed to show adequate interest in the growth of the manufacturing sector. Ajayi Kadir emphasized that the growth of the sector had been stunted either by the lack of total commitment to put policy into action by the government or by the sector being crowded out in terms of priorities. On the Vanguard this morning, poor government policies execution keeps capacity utilization below 50%. MAN says, please stay with us as we go on this short commercial break. When we return, we'll start the analysis in proper. Thank you for staying tuned to SBS 96.9 FM.
That education is far better than ignorance in a millionfold. So parents and caregivers, if you cater for sound education for your child and words, think no further but Ilmu Trendsetters Academy. Ilmu Trendsetters Academy is second to none when it comes to Nigerian and British curriculum. 21st century teaching skill, Arabic and moral education, conducive and fun-filled learning environment, sports and vocational skills, state-of-the-art security system as each class is CCTV monitored. Their teachers are qualified for the task. You can enroll your child Start today into crèche, kindergarten, nursery and primary classes respectively. Located at number 33 Kaduna Road at the Wale Housing Estate, Ilorin, Kwara State. Or better still, you can call 07065571022. Elimu Trendsetters Academy, Islamic Nursery and Primary School, trending higher in knowledge, skills, and uprightness. It is well.
Good morning once again and welcome to the newspaper review and analysis on SBS 96.9 FM with Rachel Damilola Arukoyo. I hope you're at work. For those who are still at home, I hope you're preparing for work. And, well, some people may say today is their off day. I wonder whose off day is Monday. All right, you're welcome again to the newspaper review and analysis. And now we dive straight into the analysis. I have with me in the studio Alhaji Sholamuse and Comrade Tajuddin Abib. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, listeners.
All right, let's go straight into it this morning. We have a report on the Punch this morning. Says, as regards the Kwara poll, APC clears 16 local government and 119 councillorship seats in Kwara. I've read the detail of the story, so I don't need to go back into it again. We are still going to talk about Edo State governorship election, but first, let us start with our own state of harmony, Kwara. Starting from Comrade Tajuddin Abib, what is your take on APC?
Why did you want to start for me when you have the elder here?
Now, I only want to at least look at the adjective used by Punch. Clears.
And now I am coming to say that they won the 16.
No. That adjective you say won is wrong. I was an observer. I saw what happened.
Okay, you were an observer.
Yes, I was an observer. I saw all these things. But in the morning, I discovered that the whole situation was apparently manipulative. You know why?
Why did you say that?
Yes, because at the time we did something, there were no sufficient ballot paper. And which at least was telling us that the Kwasek was not prepared. They may not be prepared for bringing consistency to the process. You get it? But I think they only prepared for either agenda. That is not my own opinion. That is the way I saw it as an observer. Okay. But I still want you to know that it is traditional. Everybody should know that it is traditional in local government election where the appointer of the Kwasek interest should be taken into cognizance. People don't need to at least worry themselves and say, okay, they have declared election, even where there is a disconnect between the Kwasek chairman and one of his electoral officers. Atoju Ekun-Sarumi, the councillor was declared there instantly with a signed something that will give them copy. You get it? So I wonder where there is a disconnect between the chairman of the state Kwasek and those officers that is now announcing all the councillors as the winners of those. You see, this is what I'm saying. But I just want people to know that it is traditional when there is no neutral body to conduct election of the local government that is applicable in the state and federal. You get it? It is traditional that they will not win, but they will declare. Yes, that is the adjective I want people realistically to use. They will declare. And the one area is that the reality in that election is that whether it is declared or not, one of the musicians used to say, if people you are telling lie to does not know, you that you are telling lies knows you are telling lies. You get it? The reality is that people came out en masse
to vote.
Though frustrated with this insufficient ballot paper and other anki-panki that was that attended that election. But the reality is that if you are somebody that used to be futuristic. You have to know that there's loss of integrity on the part of the ruling party. You get it? We must say the fact, though. That is the fact. It's even used for all whatever we analyze here may be useful for the political engineers. You get it in their various political party. But the fact is that it's a test of popularity. When people came out and you begin to ask them why this mass appearance, they say they want to dislodge the current situation that is so catastrophic to their livelihood. These are the things that... Now, what I mean by reality is that we can now see that you can declare you may not be popular. You get it? What are those things that you place on your table that will say, yes, they say, okay, we are going there, we are going here because of this, because of that. You get the reality is there. And that is why it's a very good consolation for Kwarans that people came out, they begin to come out. And it will not be like that. What I mean is there is a signal again.
Okay.
Yes, there is a signal and lesson to be learned that if it means if a neutral body conduct that election, it will be a different scenario. So if by 2027 a body will be conducting that election, people's vote will count.
By neutral body, do you mean that Kwasek did not do justice to the election?
By assessment.
Okay.
You know, I'm a neutral person. I was an observer. I'm telling you what I observed.
All right.
I even called the INEC chairman where we were in the situation room. Why have they not got sufficient ballot paper? He said he's going to address that, which wasn't addressed on the collapse of the election. You get
All
it?
right.
The Kwasek, because I don't see a reason where a party official will impersonate and say it's an observer or is electoral officer. You get what I said? We have had all those facts and figures that if I bring report on what I saw on Saturday, you get it. The conclusion will be no democracy, because election without democracy without election is not democracy. But you asked me, the declaration does it represent the wish of the people? I would say no. The reason is simple. Because many were disenfranchised in view of this insufficient ballot paper and all other things. For example, no report sheet. In the election I've been observing, there is no election that there will be no report sheet. So it's a calculated attempt to make sure that declaration worked.
All right. Thank you, Alhaji.
No, I'm not even finished because I have to talk of posterity. I
know, but let me talk to Toles now. The way he's looking, I know he has a lot of things to say. Now, Alhaji said something. He said a lot of people came out en masse to vote. I love to be realistic because my mom also went out on Saturday to cast her vote. And when she got there, it's Okwere Ward and Saridin, to be precise. She got there and she was like, there was no ballot box. There were ballot papers, but there was no ballot box. So if you cast your vote, where do you keep because it's meant to be confidential. Yeah. Nobody has to see what you have printed on top of it. Nobody has to know the party you are voting for. So now, talking about insufficiency in ballot box, ballot papers, what is your take on this just concluded local government election in Kwasek that APC cleared or won? Which word?
Except you are politically naive.
Okay.
Your expectation of local government election, if you have been following the events over and over again, you will understand exactly what the outcome will be. Of course, yes, it is a kind of sending a message, probably not to a particular party, but to the ruling class, that people are now more conscious of their own dictations, of their own decisions. They understand the power they have, and that the people are now ready to exercise that franchise of electing, or possibly, if you call it, selecting those who will be leading them going forward. I think that's the lesson there. So, except you are politically naive, you will understand that local government election in Nigeria is under the dictation of the political party ruling that state at that particular period of time. As at the time you are having election in Kwara here, local government election in Kwara here, you are having the same local government election in Enugu. And if you ask me, PDP cleared all the seats in Enugu as well.
Yes.
That is the story. That is the situation of local government election in Nigeria. But like Alhaji have said, the reality is there. I remember yesterday I wrote a post on Facebook, and my observation was that because we have a situation in 2017 in Kwara here too, we have a situation similar to this. Okay, so my observation, when I made the comment, people were saying, okay, we are waiting what will happen in 2027, and I opine that 2027 might not be equals to 2019 on the basis that if this ruling party learns the lesson that's supposed to be learned from what happened on Saturday, because what happened on Saturday was actually a strong message to the ruling class, a very strong message, wherein people actually have their trust. When this party came on board, it was on the basis of trust. People actually gave them the mandate and they supported it. If in 5 years you are conducting the local government election and you are struggling to win, then something is wrong somewhere. So people who will benefit from having a solid foundation, I mean the party's solid foundation in terms of performance, needs to go back to the drawing board to see exactly where are the problems coming from. We said the same thing in 2017. Unfortunately, it was late for the ruling class to understand exactly what we're saying. So we are saying the same thing now in 2024. If the 2024 lesson can be learned by the current ruling class, then you can have a situation wherein 2027 will not be equal to 2019. But if it continues like this, and it's not just peculiar to the state alone, it was the generality of the governance system of the party ruling Nigeria at this particular period of time. I'm sorry, some of us are more tilted to that party at this particular period of time. But the fact still remains that the way the party is running the affairs of the country is actually pushing the people to the wall. And then if you push the people to the wall, you tend to have a situation whereby they turn at you. And that's exactly what you are saying now. Forget about what happened in Edo. What happened in Edo has its own peculiarity and situation attached. But the reality is that majority of Nigerians are fed up. People can no longer feed their children, withdrawing their children from private school to public school. The healthcare is not working, and then the continuous rise in inflation, wherein there is no commensurate income generation platform for people to actually succeed. So if you have such situation, you tend to have a situation whereby people will revolt, and that's exactly what you are seeing across board in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Tajudeen Habib. Now let me ask you a very sensitive question. Did you go out to vote yesterday?
Yes, I do.
You did?
Yes, I do.
And you think that your vote counts?
I do on two bases.
Okay.
Because for some of us who analyzes and encourages people to exercise their franchise, it is important that we do that by laying a foundation, an example. So I do. And again, I have a strong interest in a particular aspirant, which I casted my vote for too. Right. That's on the basis of yes, from where I voted, okay, the vote counts. But at the long run, where it was collated, I do not know exactly what happened.
All right, thank you, Alhaji. Now let me come back to you. You said you were an observer yesterday.
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to vote on Saturday?
Yeah, where I supposed to vote.
Okay.
There was no ballot paper.
Okay. The same thing happened.
Equal to be specific.
All right.
You get it? There was no ballot paper. So I just, my consideration is that, like Rajo Adali said, it is traditional.
Okay.
That local government elections are always declared, not won. You get it? So that is why that becomes my own consolation. You get it? So to answer, I think I've answered that.
Yes, you have. Now, coming down, while monitoring the conduct of the election in part of Ilorin Metropolis, the chairman of the Kwara State Independent Electoral Commission, that's Mohammed Baba Okunla, ascribed the delay in the commencement of the election to a breakdown in logistics. Now, the election did not start until around 9:30 a.m.
I will not argue with
Saturday
him, but I will
morning.
call it conceptual delay.
Okay.
Yes, it's a delay that was already conceptualized.
I understand very much that you have cars. Now, your cars wouldn't tell you when they want to break down, do they? No. So do you think he's just making that up?
No, you see,
the breakdown in logistics.
that evidence will have been a genuine evidence.
Okay.
If you say you are typicalizing with a vehicle, you get it, that will not inform you that it's going to break. But we are talking of administrative consistency. You get it? Where you know where you are going. You know what you want to do. You get it? You have no excuse to tell people that you fail because of this. No, it's very. Some people can be executed publicly for using that as evidence. Something that will affect people's life, and you fail, and that is not a genuine evidence. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to go into. I don't subscribe to that type of excuses. It's flimsy to me.
All right. Thank you, Alhaji. Now, let me come back to you, Comrade Tajudeen Habib. We have been preparing for this local government election for close to 3 months now, if I'm not mistaken. Now, there ought to be a data for Kwarans. Let me limit it to Kwara now. For Kwarans who are in possession of their permanent voters' cards. Now, what is this excuse of not enough ballot papers? Since you have the number of people who have permanent voters' cards, we understand that not everybody would want to come out and exercise their right as Nigerians to vote, to cast their vote and exercise their franchise. What is their excuse? What is Kwasek's excuse of not providing enough ballot papers?
You see, the basic solution to some of this problem is when you have, like Halaji called it, a neutral body, then I would say an independent body to conduct the local government election. You have a solution to some of this problem. You see, it is multifaceted. The problem the local government is facing. You see, the pronouncement of autonomy, probably financial autonomy for local government, does not solve all the problems the local government administrations are having in Nigeria. So one of the major problems that they are facing is the conduct of this election. To be able to have people who actually understand exactly what those local governments should do for the masses. Like we used to say, local government is the closest to the downtrodden. And as such, people that will be manning the affairs of this local government supposed to be people chosen by their own representatives. Unfortunately, in Nigeria's situation, you don't have such. And why? It's because of this conduct of the local government. And it's not just, you cannot just blame the state government alone on this. You have to look at the constitutional provision for this as well. You're telling the state government, we are saying we want autonomy for the local government, and you are saying the state government should be the one conducting the election for local government. Where will the fund for the conduct of this election come from? How do you want them not to have interest in what? Yes. So how do you want them not to have interest in the affairs of the local government when they practically finances 100% what happened in that local government? So that's why I said we need to look at the constitutional provision and be able to situate the situation. Kwasek does not have an independent data to conduct this election. They get their data from INEC. In Kwara situation, you have a situation wherein the opposition sued them to court, and they have a situation where it was a week to the election that they got the go-ahead to. How do you want them to prepare enough for this election? So some of these problems happens because we do not have a solid foundation for the conduct of this local government election. If you ask all the Nigerian governors, they will tell you local government cannot be autonomous. Why? Because you have two federating units, the state and the federal government. Local government will continue to be under their caprices until the constitutional provision is altered and give the local government administration the freedom that they need. And what are these freedom? This includes the conduct of their own local government, the conduct of the election. Of course, yes, we have a situation in the National Assembly currently wherein they are proposing that a local government electoral commission should be set up. But how long will that go? Because it has to do with the constitution as well.
Yes.
So, and who is going to assent to some of those things that you are prepared? So it will take a very good political will from the ruling class to do the right thing. But if it continues like this, then we continue to have a situation like we are having across board. Like I said, it's not just, it happens in Yoyo few months ago. We have the same situation in Enugu. We have the same. The only resemblance of an election for local government that you will see in Nigeria will come from Kaduna. I don't know if this incumbent governor will continue with what El-Rufai was doing there, but that's the only resemblance of local government election that you see in Nigeria.
Where everything was open.
Open, yeah.
You get it. It was open, and now there's no finger from anywhere on it. But let me still tell you that you see, even after the declaration, my colleague had said that there is a particular ambiguity in the fundamental principle or works of the local government in terms of constitutional provision. But there is one area that stands as consolation to me.
All right.
The chairmen are not given any immunity. You get it? So, and the fear of people in making sure that incumbent does not produce the chairman is that they believe they will be given the money, state and local government money will be given to the governor. You get it? But with the situation on ground, no chairman or chairman is given chance to enjoy any immunity. So the fate of the council, you get, is still left with the people who came out to vote for them. You get what I'm saying? So even neutrally, you can still come out and say, okay, come and tell us how you have spent your money. EFCC is not working for the local government alone. It's not working for state government, neither the federal government. So anything could go. You understand what I'm saying? But the people, the citizens of those local government can come out and say, we want to know how you have spent our money. So it's no longer business as usual. You get what I'm saying? It's no longer business as usual. You get it? If you declare election, for example, as traditional of the local government, you get it? You cannot declare not getting, asking questions on how you spend our money. And the legal eyes will be set on the chairman now. You get it? We have to ask questions from them. If you give governor any money, you get it. Sentence is free. You'll be jailed. Because everybody should bear his father's name this time around. The governor's name is different from your own father's name. If you give money to him, public will ask questions. When they ask questions, we will not. It's enough. We can't take nonsense again.
All right. Thank you.
And let me tell you again. You see, one thing that bothers me.
All right.
Is that even the elite are culpable. For example, I want to give an example. In College of Education in Ilorin, for example, there was an election from one department. One woman and one man got 15-15. Is that a stalemate? What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to do another election.
Yes.
But they now take, because that woman is not compliant with what is going on in the school. They now declare the man who has the same. You can see elite problem. How will you justify that?
All right, thank you so much. You're still listening to the newspaper review and analysis on SBS 96.9 FM Ilorin. We're located at the Federal Low Cost Housing Estate, and I have with me in the studio Alhaji Shalamusi and Comrade Tajuddin Abib. Now, Comrade, while you were speaking the other time, you made mention that they were sued to court and they just had 1 week to prepare for the local government election. Now, in my opinion, I want to ask, wouldn't it have been nice to postpone the election to have enough time to prepare and not having to deal with the excuses of we had just 1 week to prepare, and that is why we don't have enough ballot box, that is why our logistics were breaking down, that is why we have a lot of things like that. Comrade, let's have you.
Well, what did you want me to say? The situation surrounding the local government conduct of election has been analyzed. The truth is that whether they have added 3 weeks, whether they have another 3 months for the preparation of this, the outcome remains the same. That's the truth. So, considering the investment they've made in the preparation for this election, the publicity and some other things, you're telling them to increase it again, postpone it again, and then they'll come out with another. So the truth is that the basic truth is that, like I put it from the beginning, except you are politically naive, you know the outcome of this election before its commencement. So whether they postpone it for another 3 weeks, whether they postpone it for another 3 months, the agenda is there, and then the same situation will be exactly what we'll be having. So it's not something that is so hidden, and it's not like I have been putting it. It's not peculiar to this state alone, across board in Nigeria, and that's exactly the reason why I said the only semblance of an election in the recent of it for local government that you will have happens in Kaduna. Any other state, you tend to have this same situation. Whatever party you're ruling at that particular period of time declared themselves as the winner of the local government election, and then that we move from there. You got the situation. Of course, we are clamoring for the change of that situation, and that's exactly the reason why majority of us supported the autonomy of the local government. But it doesn't stop on the financial autonomy. We have to take it more a little bit further. The conduct of the election, the scheduling of whatever task functions that the local government will be doing at every level. So it's a step we need to take, and we must continue to advocate for some of those steps to come to fruition. All right, thank you so much. You can now call the studio line 070-3150-1256. 070-3150-1256 is the number to call to be a part of the newspaper review and analysis this morning on SBS 96.9 FM. Now, we had a lot of report from people who opened their business stores even during the election. We had a lot of business women. We had report of business women, businessmen, market women. Somebody, for example, says, my business is my pride. I don't care about the election because nothing will come out of it. The same story every year. Another person says, we have been voting since we were born, and we are yet to see any impact on those we voted for in the past. Should this be an excuse for people not to come out and exercise their right as citizens of Nigeria? Before you answer that, let's quickly pick this call. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that. 070-3150-1256 is the number to call. Alhaji, please. All right, let's quickly pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please stay away from your radio set to reduce the whole back sound.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now,
what is your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Babata.
Babata.
I'm coming from.
All right.
Now, what I want to tell you about the election, we didn't benefit anything from this election. Since the day we are born, we have been voting for a longer time, but nothing has happened. And then it doesn't give us encouragement about what they have done. Now, my conclusion to this is I don't have interest on it. So that's that.
That has even tactically answered the question you asked me.
Exactly. Because he even quoted the fact that I said they have been voting since they were born.
Yes, you see, when you go out to vote, And I think election is a derivative to people's performance. If you go out to vote and you are given succor, your children could be able to go to school. You buy things achieved, there is food on your table, all these things. You'll be impressed to vote anytime you are called out to vote. But when you voted for these people, while you are suffering, they are buying plane. While you are suffering, they are misplacing priority. You get it? The fault of Kwara, for example, you get it? You cannot say people of Okelele, people of Baba Soja, there are no voters there. There are voters there. Even more than the voters in Kwara Hotel. More than the voters in GRA. Now, when they are seeing you misplacing priority, instead of you to tar their roads, you get it? And you are misplacing priority for reason best known to you. How do you expect them to come out and say they want to vote? You get it? It's discouraging. Policies, bad governance, insensitivity. You get it? Irresponsibility on the part of the people at the position of authority discourages the voters, and that's why you see turnout at times being poor, except in the states where they are determined to make that change, whether they are in a do or die manner.
All right, thank you so much, Alhaji. Now, Comrade Tajideen Abib, I'm being careful not to call you Tole, so would you prefer that?
Anyway, you do.
All right, now, do you support the fact that people have been voting all along, and, you know, like you said, the best candidates of the ruling party are being imposed on the people? What is your take on this?
You see, while I agreed that there has been a lot of disappointment on the part of the people being given the mandate to govern the affairs of the people at each level, whether at the federal level or at the state level, I still want to encourage our people to understand that we do not have any other means of putting these people in power except through this vote. And if we say that because of their own irresponsibility, we want to stay away from voting, that staying away from voting is another power to them.
Yeah, it does,
because automatically you have their own party people who are inclined towards that party affiliation against the governance that the people that will be elected will be given. They will vote whoever that comes from their own party. And if you said you are not voting, you are automatically giving them the victory that they demanded for. So we have to continue to look at our situation, look at the aspirants, the candidates, who do we think is better. Whether that person will win or not, let us vote that person. It's a strong message. Like we have during this local government election, I want to believe that APC in the state will go back to the drawing board to see exactly where the problems are, if they are taking the lesson. Because it is a strong message that the sitting government is struggling to, even in the areas wherein they have their own stronghold, wherein in 2023, just this 2023, they have about 75-80% of the vote coming from that region. They have a problem winning in that region. That speaks volume to the problem on ground. It's a strong message if you vote. So please, irrespective of the outcome, we have to continue pushing until we get it right. We must vote, and we must continue to ensure that our votes count.
All right, 07031501256 is the number to call. 07031501256. How was the election at your end? If you went out to cast your vote, how was it at your end as well? Hello, good morning.
Hello, I'm Steve.
Please turn off your radio.
Alagbadu.
What is your name?
My name is Baba also.
All right.
From what the man has said now, I want to contribute to what he has said.
All right.
Now he said we should continue to vote. They didn't encourage us. How do we go out and be voting for those people? They didn't even count us as human beings, and they didn't encourage us. So therefore, I can't and I cannot encourage people to go out and vote for them. because they are selfishness and they are so stupid.
No, please calm down with your words.
Calm down.
All right, please calm down with your words. I forgot to say that if you want to call in on radio, please be civil in your approach because we have a regulatory body that is listening to us.
Don't bring tension.
Mom, you know, the irony of this is that even if we didn't vote, like I said, the problem is Tia Abati Dibo. Maybe I should put it this way.
Okay.
Tia Abati Dibo. Afwan wọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ gba Igbo yìí lọ́wọ́ wa láǹfààní àti wọlé náà ni. Nítorí pé the majority of their own party stalwarts will not think in the direction of governance. They will only be thinking in the direction of their own party winning that election. They are not concerned about governance.
As a forum to get something.
So it is the people that are actually feeling the impact of the. And the truth is that we are larger than them. If you go and look at the statistics of the people that has been voting in Nigeria, even in the Nigerian election, you discover that there has never been a time that you have 40% of the entire population voting, the entire voting population voting, because people are actually that political that voting apathy is there. So the 60% that are not voting are actually the one winning the election for those that are voting. So that's the problem. Right. And that's exactly what I'm saying.
In as much as I would love us to continue this conversation, but our time is fast spent. Before we leave the program this morning, I would like us to quickly, in 1 or 2 minutes, analyze what is the fate of other political parties. We have, majorly now, you understand what I'm trying to say. But we have a lot of political parties.
I think what they're supposed to do to bail out themselves from the current political catastrophe is that there's no. When you are playing politics, you must be intelligent. You can collapse your parties to when not necessarily becoming members of those particular party. You get it. You can collapse and see that when Party B is popular, you use that place to then you'll be able to at least defy the opposition so that it will be beneficial to the people. Instead of saying this and that, no, that my container theory is still there. You get it?
All right. Do you agree with that?
You see, we must continue to encourage opposition. Like I said, this part, the increment, like it happens to the previous occupier of Ahmadu Bello Way in Kwara here. I mean, those people that governed us between 1999 and 2019. Like it happens to them. At the time, they feel relaxed. They feel they own the entirety of the state and they can do and undo. It is happening to the incumbent people too. They are feeling relaxed. They are taking the people feelings for granted. And as such, we must encourage the opposition to continue to be vibrant so that they can put them on their toes and deliver what they promises the people in terms of governance.
All right.
So we expect that the opposition will continue to push. We expect that the ruling party will continue to do whatever they can do to benefit the people, and we hope that we continue to have development along that path.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on to the show this morning on the newspaper review and analysis. Now, in few seconds, your parting words, Alhaji, for this morning.
No, it's just to make sure that the chairman or the council of local have been declared. You get it? You should make sure you ask questions from them. You get it? It's no longer business as usual.
All right, thank you. Now, Mr. Tajuddin, I will not give you an open check. Let me ask a question. What is expected of those that have been declared winners of these elections?
Of course, yes. Whether by crook or by genuity, they are now the executive chairman of their various local government, the councillors of their own various wards. What is expected of them is that they should deliver on their mandate. They should give the people. This can change the perception of the people. Yes, actually, yes. If they said you get it anyhowly, well, you are delivering. People will forget about how you got to power, and they will support your administration. So I hope that this chairman will do exactly the bidding of the people, and I wish them all the best.
All right, thank you so much. You've just listened to Alhaji Shola Musa and Comrade Tajuddin Abib from the studios of SBS 96.9 FM. Like I said earlier, we are located at the Federal Locust Housing Estate. Thank you for joining us on the program this morning. Mr. Babaita, who called, I say a very big thank you. To those who listen, to those who are trying to call, but the call is not coming in, I say a very big thank you. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same station. I am Rachel Damilola Arukoyo. Have a wonderful week.